Welcome back to the channel. All right, now I'm being very serious. I want to know your thoughts on this. I would appreciate it if you really look at the amount of defenders that have been put out in this game in just the last 6 months before you answer this. But also let me know, are you enjoying this? Because there is a chance. I'm very open to the idea that there is a chance that you are. Now we're going to go over all the defenders that have been released in the year 2025, or really have come into the game in 2025, because we are going to start with Deathless Thanos. But before we do, I do think it's important for you to remember, in 2024, we got Maestro, Onslaught, Bullseye, Serpent, Arcade, and Enchantress. That was just in the year 2024, the same year, I believe, as the post where they said, we hear you. We've done too many, too fast, too soon. They did try to like blame us a little bit, the players, and saying that like there's been too many powerful attackers or something. It's like, you made the attackers and put them in the game, not us. Don't. That's your fault if there's anything. But here we go. Let's take a look at this, and I think we got to start off with Deathless Thanos, right? Technically, December of 2024, and I'm sure some of the community will be like, it's December. Well, fine. Let's make this over the last 2 years. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. I can play the semantics game or whatever the hell it is you seem to enjoy doing as well. They've only got him listed at a 4 out of 5, and here's why I'm going to say I'm going to accept that for now. Is because he's really just a huge meat shield, right? As long as you avoid hitting his block and you don't hit him too much, basically make him go unstoppable, he's rarely going to kill you, right? The nodes and things that added on, sure, can make it absolutely brutal, but it's just him on his own if Serpent's only a 5. Because remember, that's the bar here, right? Like, that's the thing now, is like, well, they're not Serpent. It's like, all right, sure, let's accept that. Let's accept that Serpent is only a 5 because the scale only goes to 5. And there we go. So there's Deathless Thanos. So we're 1 for 1 here on defenders coming into the game. Okoye, 2025. It's the second champion, and I don't think she's a defender, right? She got a lot of hits, throws a spear around, but I don't think she's a defender. Her kit does not read as one. And then we move on to our third champion of the year, none other than Gentle, and they are saying 3.5. Again, you know, if Serpent is a 5, Serpent's like a 10, right? I mean, Serpent doesn't even work the way they said he was going to work. He came out stronger. In the balance post, they said he was working as intended, but then later they came out and said he's not. So I don't know. Maybe they'll fix that like they fixed Kingpin's SB1 or the Root from Craven or Shocker's Glance. I bet you they will. I bet you Kabam will be like, we're really big on the game working the way the designer intended, and Serpent doesn't, so we'll go and fix that. You let me know if you think I'm being too optimistic there. If you can't tell by the laughter, they're never going to fucking fix it. All right, so here we go. So we're on to Gentle, and he's a 3.5. He goes unstoppable. If you hit him too much, you get to that 15, you got to hit him to kill him. And I talked to a lot of folks from my Discord server, and they analogize this to like when you're fighting Hulk. And so you use your relic or something like that when he goes unstoppable. So you better have your relic ready a lot so that you can finish that off. But I think we can file him under defender, right? So we're 1, 2, 3 champions into the year, and already 2 are defenders. So I'm sure they'll slow down. The next champion of the year here is none other than Arnim Zola, who they have as a 5 out of 5. And I did the video on how to defeat him, and I'm going to be continuing to do that because it's clear Kabam's not stopping. When you see all of this, you're going to be like, obviously, they're not stopping. They clearly are not stopping. And he's a 5 out of 5. And, you know, we saw in the MP's Top 30 Battlegrounds tournament literally last night, Barrowman and Andrew the Ref, 2 of, like, obviously the greatest players in MCoC, literally dying to Zola. Zola was, from what I watched, the most impactful defender outside of Serpent. Serpent was always banned, and so was another champion that's later on, from what I recall. And Zola was actually causing death. So I don't think anyone's going to really argue whether he's a tough defender or not. Then the next one is Joaquin Torres, who's really not much of a defender. Then we get to Jean Grey, who, so it says, yep, there's a random chance for reverse control. So they're like acknowledging, like, this is an ass. This is a defender, right? I'm saying that's intentional. But don't worry. So this is where they're now being like, don't worry, it's not bad. there's a call out in game that tells you if it's coming, and it is solved with immunity reverse controls, but not with a psychic shielding tag. As a reminder, it's not the same thing. So to me, like I read this, like you can tell they're kind of, again, trying to argue both sides. So if you're like, they're a defender, they'd be like, no, they're not. And if you're like, there's not a defender, they'd be like, yeah, they are. So I think she's a defender, right? I mean, 3 out of 5, that means 60%. That's over halfway. I think we've got to I'm going to put her down as a defender. You decide. If not, and just so you don't, you know, it's off of, I believe it is all special attacks or the special one. And it's going to be off of the first hit, is my understanding. Oh, sorry, all special attacks after the first hit. So there is a call out. And so maybe there's like a good 2 to 3 second gap between Jean throwing her special one and the call out, and then you actually getting hit, which would give you plenty of time to read the call out and then adjust. And this won't be like, you know, the collector scenario or something like that, or the Grandmaster, where you just got to play reverse controls and kind of really see it really quick and react or something like that. We'll have to see. So then we move on. But again, for the sake of this, I'm going to consider her a defender. Bastion doesn't appear to be a defender. You're going to have to learn the animation, that sort of stuff. Spider-Woman. Then we get to Spider-Woman, who is listed as a 3.5 out of 5. Again, if Serpent's a 5, there's a 3.5. That's not that far off, which lets you know how brutal she is going to be. You're going to need counters. I believe she has an evade. I know really high-tier Battlegrounds players think she's going to be phenomenal dual threat, which means you're going to be good at offense and defense. So we're going to have to learn to fight her, have a strong counter to her defensive capabilities. Let's go ahead and get into Lumitrix, who I think only Barrowman. I could be wrong on this one because a little bit of time has gone by, but I think only Barrowman. I say Barrowman because he or maybe it's Trappy, won Battleground season, or Barrow. I'm sorry, I don't fully remember. And so they got enough of whatever the currency that was needed to get Lumitrix. So they were able to get him. Otherwise, you had to spend a lot of money. And he's definitely a defensive threat. I'll tell you what, like, I'm actually shocked to see him at only a 3. His defensive threat, in my opinion, is significantly stronger. His defensive ass. I fought him once in Battlegrounds, and I decided I will never do that again until I'm able to do a full video on how to fight him. And I have a feeling you're going to need to be able to counter evade, which in the mutant class, yeah, you got Dazzler, so that's good. So we'll have to see how that goes. But again, I feel like this is a defender, and defender not a lot of people have unless they spent money, which is okay to do. No shade intended. Lotan is a story boss, so it wouldn't be fair to count her. Cyclops clearly is not a defender, and then Buff Phoenix is clearly not a defender. So over the year, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So over 50% are either classified strongly as a defender or have a defensive threat that you need to know and account for and be able to, like, at least hard counter in some way, shape, or form. So that's over 50% of the champions so far for the year. And then we get to Dark and just when you think they're done, we get to Dark Phoenix, who was the final milestone in the Heart of Fire event. I'm not going to relitigate all of that. I chose not to get her. I did not like how this all went. It made her unenjoyable for me. Maybe I'll get her in the future because I see what a potent defender is. She has unavoidable damage with her Nova Flame. The only good options for her right now are Hood and Shothra. I had what I thought was a beautiful fight against her against Black Cat. I'll also be putting that as a short relatively soon. And well, I'll let you see that. There's a reason why she's not going to be in my top 10 list of counters. Although, actually, there's so few counters, maybe she will be. And so they have the strength of strength at 4.5. I think that only makes sense in the idea that she's not Serpent. So there's a lot of wiggle room here, from what I can tell, between 3.5 and 5. So yeah, there's that. And then the other just new champion coming into the game, she's going to be in the Titan Crystal here, is my understanding, is none other than Yelena Belova, who actually is listed as a 5. Remember, Serpent's listed as a 5. Zola is listed as a 5. So you know what they're aiming for. I will be, of course, as with all these, working on a new how to fight video, so I can try to get better at her and help you get a little bit better at her, because this, to me, is clearly the direction the game is moving. And I think it's obvious, probably from my tone and my attempts at humor, that I'm not enjoying this. I'm not enjoying this. And one of the biggest reasons I'm not enjoying it is I think you probably aren't, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video. One is I wanted people to actually see. So I brought this up, and people are like, "No, it's not that bad." And then you start talking to them, they're like, "I did not realize there's been that many defenders." So I want to see, because a lot of my enjoyment, or more and more of my enjoyment on playing this game, is coming from actually having this channel and the small Discord server I have, the alliance I've created. And so if the players are having fun, then I'm having fun. I don't like these oppressive defenders. I don't like Serpent. Now, I mean, not only does he not work the way literally we were told he was supposed to, right? Like, one of the reasons why I came out on the rebalancing I did is because I was told he was going to work a certain way. And champions like Crossbones and Luke Cage are going to be able to guaranteed turn off his immortality. They then did the rebalancing and said he was working as intended. And then, lo and behold, like a month later, we find out, oh, we were wrong. Sorry. But they didn't go and fix that like they did the glancing with Shocker, the SB1 ability accuracy like Kingpin, the lock, the SB3 lock with Zemo and Kraven. This appears to be one that they're okay with for some reason, while those needed to be changed like literally out of nowhere. So that's interesting, but that's not what this video is about. Is when the defenders are this oppressive, they create attackers that, like, I honestly think are dumb. I'll admit, I think it's dumb. Like, I think that the NTW with her, like, she reverses the reverse. It's like, come on, man. Yeah, I don't want to say anymore. I'll be really curious to see how they handle Serpent. I have my theories. I've been predicting. If you've been watching my live streams and stuff, you know that for a while I've been predicting something, but I've been pretty tongue-in-cheek about it. It's like, there's no way they'll actually do it. Like, they have a Kabam employee who, like, goes on stream and, like, speaks at length about how irresponsible the designer that created a certain ability was and how bad he and that ability are for the game. So, like, there's no way they'll shut Serpent down ever that way. And yet, that's the thing with defenders like Serpent, is they make you come up with these offensive abilities that are just so absurd. And then the game just builds on itself. And for a game where they told us they want to last for another 10 years, if you keep accelerating the game this way via defenders, and then the attackers that have to answer them, like, what are we left with? Like a defender that's like immune to swipes or something? I don't even know. So, but I'm really curious. You, viewer, please let me know. Are you having fun? Thank you so much for watching. Take care.